Test, test. Okay, I think we're live. Reid, I'm using your karaoke video as a thumbnail.
Oh, cool.
Because it was stuck as my default.
What video?
Are we singing karaoke?
Oh.
Yeah. For the first 5 seconds of me singing that, I was like, nope, 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 I don't want to listen to that.
Oh.
No, that's real.
Oh, from a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Right.
was like, oh, I feel the cringe coming. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you?
I feel like I started that that way. I don't start usually.
It's hard because you can't really hear yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the main thing I noticed. Yeah.
Yeah. Once you get into it, I feel like you're like, oh, the energy, and then you get more confident. At least that's what happened for me. But like, yeah, at the start, I'm like, It's nice that people are very forgiving about it. Like, they just don't care.
Very supportive environment to do karaoke.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, people. I guess it's like, yeah, people don't care that unless you're like really blowing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you did great. Good job.
All right, we are streaming. 0 concurrent viewers, 0 chat rate, 0 views. Nan in average viewed direct. Yes, we are live. We're live.
You should send out the link just to a few people, just so they could theoretically,
Yeah, I put it on my Discord. I don't know where I should put it. Instagram.
Well, send it to like, I don't know. I feel like Casey would cringe too much, but you could send it to Casey and see her thoughts. Like, hey, if you want to watch us make our podcast,
It's so bad. I'll message you guys. You guys can send it to whoever you want. I'll just send it to Casey. Hold on.
Audrey?
Can I just send it to her?
Yeah, send it. Oh, man, Carolyn though. That's the new person.
Wait, so sending what to who?
Huh? The link, the live stream.
Oh, live streaming.
Yeah.
We're gonna have the viewers now. Oh.
We sent it to everyone but the person that we just met yesterday.
The one who did a good bad impression.
Yeah.
What I've started doing recently, I've had fun like crafting funny messages. So Ben, I helped him like move some bags. Really, you helped out of his apartment. So that the thing I messaged him was, let me read here. He said, the bags from your apartment have been safely transferred to a secure storage facility somewhere in Antarctica. Message Reid with a thank you. He helped to deflew the stealth plane. So I think little micro things like that. So I'm trying to figure out for this live stream. Congratulations. You have been selected.
Oh yeah, scam.
Yeah.
Nice.
Claim your prize here.
That's good. And it's like a surprise. It is. I like that.
I'll send this to Audrey too.
Sure. PC on who else was there? I guess it is this. I don't think you'll see it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Also, my video, the video that you took of me didn't upload, I think.
Oh really? Oh,
Yes.
oh. This is like instead of like drinking water.
It's funny.
Does he have your contact?
He hopes it.
Or it's just a random notice?
That could be bad. Well. Okay, so yeah. Shall we?
Yeah, shall we?
Or are you gonna?
Alright.
Oh, I should probably
come grab your fuel, guys.
No.
pick your poison. Let's
You know,
cheers. Oh geez, this is a full one.
Yeah, you know I can say. Oh, but then your first person's aren't on camera. Oh well.
Yeah, maybe I should have saved my first impressions for the camera.
Are you gonna sit on this side?
You can already see them on my face. All right, y'all.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. All right.
Arriba, abajo, al centro.
What does that mean?
Hmm.
And it's up, down, in the center, in the mouth. That's how you take it. Do a shot.
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys' thoughts?
I can taste the fiber.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of a chewing experience almost. Yeah, you gotta chew it a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, it's not bad yet.
I think this is fine.
Mhm.
I was immediately hit with this is very warm. I think but my smoothies, I stole this recipe from that place in the Baki. Like half of their stuff is ice in the blender.
Mm.
So it's like I started doing that myself. Not near like half, but like most of this is ice. So I think it'd work wonders here.
Yeah, you could definitely blend with ice or just like chilled water.
Yeah.
Or just pour it over ice.
Mm.
But again, I feel like the main thing, I mean, you can just like sort of sip it and drink it, but the main way I normally drink it is just like gulp it down in the future because it doesn't taste particularly good.
Sounds good. Kenneth, you want to start the audio?
Oh.
Your phone have battery?
Wait.
Oh, there's no audio right now?
No, there is audio. It's just like it's cleaner.
Yeah. Okay.
So the audio is just gonna be bad before this point?
It's fine.
Okay, but it's
I think what kills me about audio is if it's consistent or not.
I see.
Well,
which
now we have
it
to
will
listen
not
to
be
audio.
because wait, is it recording? Oh, did we better do this?
Yeah. Here, Reid, do you want to do the claps?
Is it 3?
You just do 2 claps. Boom, boom. Nice. You know what that does?
Because it syncs up the video to the thing. Does that have to be at the beginning though, or does that just have to be at some point?
Whenever.
Okay. Cool.
Nice. We're synced.
Is there any? Do we want? I mean, are there any further conversation points about the Huel, or is this just like I guess it can sort of be a backdrop?
Yeah. I don't know. When did you get into it?
Got into it. Last spring,
Mm-hmm.
which was my last semester of college, which I was talking about because
You're a recent convert then.
yeah, I don't drink it that much, just because I don't really find the need. But I definitely drink it a lot more. I drink it about daily. Back then, I would take it to class with me, because I just didn't want to have to figure out what to eat on campus, and I was too lazy to pack food.
Yeah.
So instead of just going and getting like French fries, which are kind of expensive and unhealthy and not that good, I just bought a Huel.
Mm-hmm.
This is one thing about Huel. It has probiotics in it,
Okay.
which is healthy for you, supposedly. But if you make it and then leave it for too long, it's basically like you're making yogurt. It's all plant-based probiotics,
Okay.
but it tastes noticeably sour. And the first few times I did that, I took a sip. I was like, oh my god, what happened? And I thought the Huel had gone rancid in a matter of like 2 hours.
2 hours.
Oh boy.
Which it hadn't. It was just the probiotics doing things.
Interesting.
And so knowing that, if it tastes a little bit sour, you're like, oh, it's healthy. It's yogurt.
Yeah. Have you only made it with how have you prepared it? Like just with water?
Yeah, just with water. I think once I blended it with ice to make kind of like a smoothie.
Yeah.
You could add it to like a fruit smoothie if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And it tastes
Could
pretty
add
good.
vodka.
You could add vodka.
Can add all sorts
Well,
of
that also maybe I'm not a chemist or biologist, but maybe that solves your probiotics problem.
What do you mean the probiotics problem?
Well, you dump in a bunch of alcohol and it kills all that bacteria.
Yeah, it's
Oh, I see. Yeah, right. That's true. Yeah, just hand sanitizing my Huel makes it so it's shelf stable in liquid form.
Oh yeah, we need it shelf stable for the apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
That bag's pretty shelf stable, I think.
But you accidentally dumped it all into a giant vat of water, and you have
Right.
now you're like, well, I can't undo this. What do I do?
Eventually, you just make cheese out of it, basically.
Oh god. The whole lineup of Huel product. That's foul. Huel cheese.
Yeah, that's gross.
Would it be brown too, like this?
Yeah, it would. Coming to an online retailer near you.
God. That feels like it'd be like a growth medium for like bacteria or something.
Yeah.
Like a what is it? All these plates, like a
Petri dish.
Petri dishes.
yeah, petri dishes of fuel.
Yeah. This is the cheap version of Huel. There's like 3 tiers you can get.
Wow.
There's this. There's like Huel Plus. I don't know what's different, but there are extra flavors.
Okay.
So they have a lot of flavors. They have like cinnamon banana. They have mint chocolate.
Okay.
They have strawberry.
Okay.
The basic one only comes in chocolate and vanilla, and you can also get Huel Black,
Oh.
which is same all the flavors, but it has twice the amount of protein. So that's for like if you're a bulker, you want to bodybuild, which I think this is plenty of protein in. Like if I drink, 3 of these, which it would be easy to do, I can definitely get, you're already at 120% of your daily protein.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just drink one of these plus like other normal high protein foods, and I'm not even a bodybuilder, so
Yeah.
I feel like what's the point of spending extra?
It was funny. It was like, fuck, these guys are coming over here. I should like get them like snacks or something, but it's already provided.
Yeah. And you'll see it's very filling. Like you're not going to be hungry for the next while. The only thing you will be is your mouth. It doesn't stop your mouth from getting bored, which is half the reason I eat. It's just like, oh, I'm bored. I want something salty and or sweet.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I would get this, and I'd still end up getting like French fries or something on hand because like, oh, I need something else.
Ooh, French fries dipped in Huel.
Oh
God.
god. Yeah.
Kenneth.
I think that just ruins both things. I don't think there's that.
Yeah. Interesting. What an experience you brought today with you, Reid.
Yeah. Glad you guys are
Thanks for bringing it.
Yeah. So what do you think? Are you considering getting Huel now?
I think it fits what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like-
I agree.
It's...
I'm considering.
Wait, you are?
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah. So Reid and I were talking about this. Like, apparently, like if you sign up, or could you explain like the?
Oh yeah. So there are a few things. If you buy over, I think $50 of worth of product from their website, you get free shipping. And if you do a subscription, you get like 20% off the order versus if you just buy it one time.
Yeah.
But in order to get these deals, I would need to buy a monthly subscription of like of $50 worth of Huel, which is way more Huel than I actually eat. But what I've done so far, and it hasn't been a problem, is I buy a subscription for 2 bags of Huel a month, and then I get it delivered to me, and then I just pause the subscription. And I'm still getting the deal. I've done this twice so far.
This reminds me of the people that like they call into a hotel. Hey, can I cancel my reservation? Oh, sorry, I can't cancel it. Or not a hotel, but like something. Sorry, I can't cancel it. Okay, can I move it up to the year 2099 or something like that?
The year 2099. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Does it work? I see if it's like an online thing.
Yeah, just stuff like that where it's like, But yeah, I'm glad you found a system that works. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. A word from today's sponsor, Huel.
Yeah. This
Healing
whole
your
thing.
body through the wonders of probiotics and other stuff.
Yeah.
And whatever else is in there.
A little bit of aspartame, but I've heard that's not even that bad for you. I've heard that like the fears around aspartame and artificial sweeteners are kind of
You're scared of aspartame, you're stupid.
Yes.
That's a big value judgment.
If you're scared of aspartame, you should definitely be scared of sugar. I think that's how I see it. No, it's a nutrition podcast now.
Yeah.
We are all nutritionists. Yes.
I got this like. Let me think. There are 2 documentaries they had us watch in school. There was one on sugar. It was like food deserts and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, this amount of sugar just like rots you. It's like, oh, I should probably cut down on my sugar. And then there's this other one I think on like, I don't know if they showed it in school or where they showed it, but it was actually on like vegan diets. And then it was like, oh, interesting. Yeah. And it was like for athletes and stuff.
That's cool. Yeah. I feel like it's like, sometimes you look back and you're like, there were signs. It's like reading like Charlotte's Web and being like, oh, this is such a cute little book. And then like, well, it's kind of like about how like we don't want to kill the pig because like the pig can feel pain and like sadness and stuff. and that's like kind of the whole thing. And then it's like, oh, anyway,
Back to business.
yeah, oh, that's cute.
We could talk about veganism as
Oh yeah,
as a topic.
maybe we've not talked about that yet, right?
I do. Yeah, I remember. I was supposed to go back and remaster the old podcast, and then I was looking at the timestamps for our very first one, Kenneth, and then I forget where in the conversation it was, but veganism wasn't there.
Yeah.
I think that'd be an interesting conversation to revisit, like a year later. Yeah.
There was veganism in the last.
Yes.
Does it automate timestamps for you?
I just did it manually.
Oh, gotcha.
Or actually, I didn't put timestamps. It was like topics discussed. This.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna do a podcast at some point. Not to say this isn't one, but as in like professionally produced, not just 3 dudes on a couch. Professionally produced. More effort into production than what I'm doing right now. Because I think it'd be helpful as like a what do you call it, like the last bow on stage or whatever, like, you know,
Encore.
sort of. I don't know what I'm looking for. Anyways, as sort of like a final exit, dramatic exit from the AICFD college thing. It'd be neat to like talk to all these organizers and get a bunch of connections. And stuff.
Yeah. No, that would be really cool.
Like Swan Song maybe.
Maybe that's not the one I had in mind, but that might be more accurate to what I'm looking for.
Like a Wacy podcast.
A little bit, yeah. It wouldn't be lazy branded, but it'd just be like the AICFD organizer podcast, and I talk to people in like the US and Germany and stuff like that.
I think that'd be really cool.
That would be cool.
I think that would be very valuable to
a
certain audience, namely AI safety organizers.
Yeah. And like, yeah, we can get back to veganism. I'm kind of like off tracking, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. What I've started realizing with stuff like this, and this actually connects to veganism, I guess, too, is like, when you do anything creative, like the number one rule is that you cannot like limit yourself, really, or like the name of my writing doc is No Rules Creative Writing. That's the name of it, and that's the only one I've managed to put like a ton of work into because there's no rules for it. So then, for the reason I bring this up is because it's like, I used to think, oh, for me to do this thing, I need to do this and this and this and this and this and this. But then it's really just, you just need to do this. So then for the AI Safety podcast, it's like, it's really not that hard. And like, oh yeah, the expectation I had was like, oh, this has got to go viral. I've got to have like sponsors. It's got to have a huge impact, right? It's got to be far-reaching, and then I will consider it a success. If it hits 1 million views on YouTube, then I'll consider it a success. And you know what? I don't care. It's like I'm gonna talk to these people for an hour, and if it gets 20 views, that's good. You know? You understand what I'm saying? It's like, I've not like lowered my expectations. I just don't have them. But like somehow I'm still doing better than I was before. I don't know.
Is it like it's okay if like you realize you're just producing it basically for fun for yourself is the reason you're doing it, and that's okay? Or is it more like is the reason because I'm just doing this for fun or for my own satisfaction and that's all that matters? Or is the reason that, well, if this is going to have an impact, the only way it's going to get produced in the first place is if I come at it with this no expectations mindset?
That's an interesting thing on that second part. I think that'd be like weird to keep internally straight in your head. At least for me, it's like the creative process is like, what I've learned is like, you can only, I think I talked about this in the last podcast too. I was like evangelizing, like you can only put in half the work. It's like, you do all you can, and then you see what the audience does with it. So it's like, I am content with stuff like this because it's like I'm doing all I can.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I can really do content.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also think there's another angle of like that, like failure is, people are always saying like redefine. Oh, you didn't fail. You can redefine it as like a success. But it's also like sometimes it's okay if you like fail at something.
Yeah.
Like that's like it's okay. Like it doesn't have to. And not everything has to be successful. Failure is a stepping stone on the road to success.
Yeah.
So
I've heard a morbid version, which is like the only time you fail, or like the only time you fail is when you die. So it's like
interesting.
You can always bounce back, I guess. I don't know how helpful
I
that
guess,
is.
yeah,
I think that's
triumph of
helpful for
failure.
if people are in a certain place. Yeah.
I feel like it's not truly failure if, like, what you're saying is true. Like, it is a stepping stone to something else.
Yeah.
In which case, most things aren't failure. I think, in my mind, the only things that are failures is, I guess there's one sense it's a failure is if you set to achieve some goal and you didn't achieve that goal, then that is, like, by some definition a failure. But to me, like, the only failures that, and I guess those failures do matter, but like the worst kind of failure, what I see as like true failure, is you do something that had like no benefit whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, I could imagine some things I would do that would be like total. I feel like a failure when I just like sit and like scroll on like Instagram Reels or something. That is like true failure in the truest sense, because it's like, oh,
Yeah, it's almost something different though. It's like worse than failure. Because
right.
I feel like we don't. That's not what we think of when we think of failure.
That's what when I think of like, oh, this, like, I have failed today. That's like maybe like my
I guess
what
yeah.
I really
Like I
consider.
failed today. Failed to live up to expectations, maybe.
Right.
But I feel like failure kind of has the context of like you tried to do something and didn't work.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas that's like kind of, oh, I didn't even try, which is maybe would be useful to have another word for that. Just because like the two can get, if the two are conflated, then that's not good.
Right. Yeah.
Have you guys ran into this Dostoevsky quote where it's like, and your worst sin is that you have betrayed yourself for nothing or whatever? It's like that.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Not run into it, but I agree.
Yeah. Betrayed yourself for nothing.
I think it's like it's really dramatic because it's Dostoevsky, but it's some turning point in, I forget which book it is, where it's like some person comes coming back after like some betrayal or something. And it's like, your worst sin is that you have destroyed and betrayed yourself for nothing. And then it's like people take the quote and then put it in the mean context. It's really funny. It's like, your worst sin is that you joined Google and been in Mountain View for nothing. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I always think, yeah, if you're gonna betray someone, it should be for a worthy cause.
Have you ever betrayed anyone, Kenneth?
Have I ever betrayed anyone? Probably on like small things. I don't know if I've had like a big betrayal. I mean, I'm not like a. I don't like betrayal. Yeah, either way. Whether it's coming from me or being done to me.
Yeah, betrayal is like kind of like the.
I'm advertising this on Instagram, by the way.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, no, betrayal is the lowest circle of hell.
Yeah.
Is it?
Is it?
What are the circles?
Treachery. It's treachery.
Cool. Just need to.
Well, that's just funny you say that, because I was gonna say like intuitively to me, like, betrayal seems like the biggest like sin possible. And then you also say, maybe there's like something inherent about that. It's like, it's just humans view betrayal as like this really, really bad thing.
Yeah. No, it's real.
Yeah, no, there is something rotten about it.
What is betrayal? What's the definition of betrayal?
Betrayal.
Because, like you said, I feel like I've definitely. I might say there are things I've done where I've betrayed someone on a small scale, that, like, in some sense, the word you could say that was betrayal.
Can you provide an example?
Yeah, like this one time I slept with my friend's girlfriend.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. That's not happening.
I took you so
I'm kidding.
You so got us there.
I would not do that.
Yeah, I slept with my friend's girlfriend.
That's so crazy.
Dang, yeah.
I said it
Really
so
crazy.
bad.
I know, guys. Yeah, it's so crazy. Funny thing about me, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, minor betrayals like that. No, I don't know. Like, I think maybe if I said I was going to do something in a group project and it didn't get done, that's like a betrayal of sorts.
Yeah.
I think it's like it's still more specific than that, though. I feel like, because that's a failure in duty, but I wouldn't necessarily think of that as like betrayal.
Oh.
It's like there's more of an intention and like a knowing of like a sort of like a loyalty sort of thing, and then like that you're like playing for the other team kind of sort of thing. Right. That's what it feels like to me, specifically for like betrayal or like disloyalty or something like that.
Right.
Which overlaps, but it's not. I feel like, yeah.
This is where I wish I took an ethics class because I remember this like thread on Twitter by Scott Alexander on like uh, moral obligations and stuff like that, like obligations versus like something else, like something weaker than an obligation. And it seems like we're kind of touching on this with like betrayal, where it's like, yeah, like not like failing to do something in a group project is not really like. It makes sense that you call it like a small betrayal. I guess it's like there was something you set up there, some expectation you set up that you like didn't follow through on.
Maybe it's like because part of it is like because it wasn't intentional. You weren't setting out to do that. Whereas I feel like with betrayal, generally the connotation of that is someone set out to do that. They knew, like when they were going in, that they were deceiving you.
Yeah, but how intentional is intentional, right? Because maybe there's a point where it's like.
Yeah, no, it's like it's the eye of the beholder, I guess. You know.
Or just like if there's a certain point where it's like, oh, like I know I should get this work done, but I'm making the point like, you know what, I just don't feel like doing it tonight. I'm just gonna slack off right now. Like, I'm making this from this point forward. I'm just slacking off. Is that? It feels like more of a betrayal. I suppose. It does feel worse if it's like, but then like, what's the difference between that and then actively like? I don't know. Like, are you a better person if you're stressing about it the entire time? Where it's like, oh, I feel like I should be doing this, but I'm not, because the outcome is the same.
Yeah.
Oh man, are we getting to consequentialism versus deontology? Oh no.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's like, because the betrayal can even like, you know, as in the quote, it's like you can betray yourself because it's like if you think of yourself as like many people across time.
Yeah.
So it's like that's why commitments are so strange because it's like, in sickness and good health, right? And that's like, but can you know you are binding your future self to something, like regardless of circumstance?
Yeah.
So
that's coming around to you, Reid, where it's like maybe that does count as betrayal.
Sorry, which thing does?
Like that, like just failing to uphold part of a contract, basically.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
I mean,
I'll think about it.
I think it's like so many of these things just comes down to your definition of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like under some definitions of betrayal, probably that would count. Under other definitions,
like the penumbra of betrayal.
What's the penumbra?
The umbra.
Yeah, it's like so the sun like I think it's like the sun like has a very focused like beam on Earth, and that I think that's the umbra, right? And then the penumbra is like kind of the scattered like.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So it's like you got it. Yeah.
I guess there's a diagram for it or whatever. Oh, and then Jeremy, what you're saying reminds me of there's like the Ted Chiang story.
Which one?
It's in
Oh, the one where they talk to their people in multiverses and stuff, or
no, I think it was in Exhalation.
Okay.
And it was the one where the wizard has the portal and the people go through it. And
oh yes,
themselves.
Nice.
Yeah. So like betraying your future self, but like literally.
Yeah. Reid, actually I don't know how much you do this, but Kenneth and I both really like. Do you know Ted Chiang?
Ted Chiang?
Yeah.
No.
He's an author who puts out like short stories that pack in themes from science fiction and philosophy. And they're very good. And Kenneth and I both really enjoy them. So like our shared like context bank when we're talking is often, oh, this reminds me of that one Ted Chiang story on this thing. Okay. Just because it's like his work just like spans topics that we often talk about. And it's like, oh yeah, I remember that thing.
It's fun. Yeah, he has a lot of fun stories.
Yeah, but I'm always hesitant to recommend books to people because it's like I don't want to recommend it just because I enjoy it. I want to recommend it because I think you'd enjoy it, and then I don't. What are your reading preferences?
I don't know. I have a hard time nailing down my reading preferences, but what you said sounds like a good book.
Yeah. I can send you like a free one online, just like one of the short stories if you want.
Hell yeah, sure. Why did we start talking about betrayal?
You backstabbed me the other day. $20 and you did.
Oh, that he slept with your girlfriend.
Oh, it's right. I haven't told you about it yet. Shoot.
What?
Oh man.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Why didn't we start talking about it?
Oh, because you said you have betrayed yourself for nothing.
Well,
yeah.
I would say.
And we're talking about
Okay.
failure.
Oh,
Like, at
yeah,
what point have you actually failed?
Oh yeah, okay, and that's betrayal.
It's always fun tracing the back threads.
Yeah, I always think it's interesting to see how hard it is. I feel like it's the same mental muscle as like trying to remember something you just forgot. It's like,
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
except it's or like on the tip of your tongue, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. What should we talk about now?
It's interesting.
We can talk about veganism.
We could.
I'm not talking about veganism.
All right. Topic set.
All right.
Okay. Well, I'm vegan.
Hi,
So-
vegan.
I'm
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah, your dad. So we can start there. I don't know.
You know,
We have one in the house.
the resident vegan.
Mm-hmm.
Vegan takes on 20.
Oh no, no, not that you believe it. Yeah.
Well, I feel like the
God.
the fact that you are in the minority, like the I feel like the natural question to ask is why are you vegan? But I feel like to me the more fair question is why am I not vegan? It's like when I think about veganism, I think I'm always like I believe I'm on the moral defense if I try to say why I'm not vegan. I don't know.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So like, I can go first to like prime you a bit.
Yeah.
So it's like let's see. So I came back to Madison start of July or so, and then that's when I started telling myself, okay, I'm vegetarian now. And then I was talking to Kenneth about this, and it was like, I'm vegetarian because I'd like to be vegan at some point. And then I was thinking about it, like, really honestly, why am I not vegan right now? Because like I agree, like it's really easy to agree, I think, with like the mass exploitation of animals and stuff like that. It's like extremely easy to agree with this. So then it's like, okay, if I do agree with this, like radically and honestly, what are the reasons why I'm not doing this? So then I think about this, and it's like, oh, because it's like it's social aspects. I don't want like my parents to feel weird. So then it's like I call my parents and they're like, yeah, that'd be fine. I'm like, oh, okay. So then
Did you actually call your parents and ask if they'd be fine with you being vegan?
I like tiptoed around it. I was like, if I was a vegan, would you guys be okay
Oh,
with it?
yeah.
And then they're like, yeah. But you know, if grandma serves you like a dish with meat in it, then you've got to eat it. And I'm like, okay, I don't really know if we're on the same page, but I understand where you're coming from. It seems like you guys are fine with it. So it's like, okay, sure. I actually understood what they were saying last weekend. I was talking to Kenneth on the bus about this. I was like, because I'm visiting my roommate who's in New York, and he's what is it? And like he's hosting me. So then there's social dynamics of like, okay, if I very strongly enforce that like I'm trying to be vegan, that limits us to like 2 restaurants.
Right.
And then New York is like a city known for its like food culture and stuff like that. And like I'd feel weird trying to force that on him when he's being gracious and hosting me already. So okay, I'm going to like moral downgrade, I guess, almost to like I'll still uphold this. I'll be vegetarian, and like that did limit the restaurants, but like less so. But I'm not gonna make him do like vegan stuff because that seems weird. And then it's like, okay, so now it seems like the barrier to becoming vegan is social stuff, like having a lifestyle such that like, because if I'm around my roommate and he's hosting me, it's like expected that I'm not. Versus if I'm hanging around people like Kenneth, it's expected that I am. So then it's like, okay, can I take steps to make that happen? You know, because like when I'm on my own, it's very easy to be vegan. I just like cook stuff that's vegan. It's like it's nice that now there's like all these alternatives and stuff, and there's like recipes and like the cultures is like there's resources for it. So that's I think the main barrier right now for me, from like declaring that I am this thing now, like for the foreseeable future, is just this like social aspect thing. So that's what it is right now. So yeah, I guess like for you, introspecting a bit, why?
Yeah. So,
and you can talk about like your journey too, and like wherever you're at, because I know you're vegetarian.
Yeah, I'm vegetarian.
And then how long have you been that?
I think basically since high school,
Wow.
there was one junior year I did an exchange year in Germany, and then I ate meat because I wanted to experience German culture, in its fullness and not restrict myself there. And then coming back, I was vegetarian again, and then basically ever since I've been vegetarian, and also I've been sort of the mindset that like I'm vegetarian because one day I want to be vegan. Um, yeah, and then also I'm joining EA, very vegan heavy movement. It's almost like I don't know if the majority of EAs are vegan or not, but like there's certainly like it is very much like the social norms the opposite way, where it's like you're on the defense if you're not vegan versus you're on the defense being vegan. Yeah. So for me, the main things stopping me from, and the other thing I'll mention is that like I am not. I don't know. Sometimes like I say I'm like an economic vegetarian because the main thing is I won't eat meat or order meat if it increases the demand for meat. And there's like certain ways that like this doesn't necessarily, but like, basically it's like if I'm eating at a restaurant with my friends, and one of them has like a meat dish and they're not going to finish it and they're also not going to take it home, I'll be like, oh, I'll finish that because like the meat, the supply has already been, it's already been bought, right? Like the demand isn't going to decrease if I don't, so I might as well eat that. Which to a certain extent, on the margins, you could argue that like, oh, if my friend gets a meal with the expectation that maybe I will finish it, that is increasing the demand somewhat, or maybe it makes it seem more permissible if I'm flexible on this. But up until this point, yeah, I will eat meat if I perceive that like basically in like most like normal conceptions of like how things work, this is not increasing the demand for things. And also like same thing with like dumpster diving. It's like, well, I've never actually dumpster dove in meat, but
that seems one of the things you don't want to do. But
yeah,
just my opinion.
if I ever go fully vegan, I will continue to eat animal products from dumpsters.
Interesting.
Like eggs. I've gotten eggs from dumpsters. It's been great. And I don't know. I find that maybe someone could convince me out of that for whatever reasons, like on the margins, like why this is like a bad thing to do. But that seems pretty good to me.
I'd be interested in Kenneth's response to those.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I'm kind of like agnostic about those. There are definitely like edge cases kind of that, like where, I mean, and the other thing that kind of is similar but different is like when it's like could contain traces of. I know people have differing opinions on that. I think once you get to that point, I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't, it seems like the trade-off is maybe not necessarily worth it to like go that far, or you don't have to, or whatever. But I mean, I'm sure other people have other opinions.
Yeah. We could. I feel like, but I guess we could talk about like the edge cases about it, but I feel like I still have yet to defend why I'm
Oh
vegan.
right, yeah.
So one thing is the social aspects, which are not that big of a deal for me, but certainly part of it. And like I do have, so I don't find myself ever really often having to eat meat when I go to other places because like it's, I don't know. I find finding vegetarian options at restaurants usually isn't that hard. And also like if I'm going over to a close friend's, to a close friend's, if a close friend of mine is hosting, like usually I feel comfortable enough requesting a vegetarian option anyway, and I find that like it's not that hard of like it's not that hard to accommodate. I feel like veganism certainly would be harder. And it is to a certain extent like there is the argument for like it is a bit of a nuisance on the people around you if they're not vegan. But I think like the pressing question after that is, well, if you believe that animals are being exploited to the extent that they are, like why does your desire to not be like a nuisance on your friends or like to not like put pressure on your friends, like why does why does that trump like an animal's like right to not die or not to experience suffering? It's like I think like the next question that comes after that. And then for me, another reason why I'm not vegan yet is it really does come down to a large part of like convenience for me and also just like sort of pleasure. Like there are like go-to snacks that I will make. Like if I'm at home and I'm really hungry, like I'm living with my parents right now, right? And they have cheese in the fridge. And I'm making a sandwich. I'm just like, this sandwich is just not going to be as good without cheese, and it's not going to be as filling, and so I'm just like, whatever. I'll just eat the cheese, and it's partially like a will thing. I'm just like whatever, and I also like have this idea of like, well, maybe when I'm out of the house, like that'll like when I'm like living on my own, it'll be much easier for me to like fully commit to being vegan. But like right now, it's like why struggle through this willpower? Like why enforce this when like there's maybe other more important things to worry about? And the third main reason that I'm not more vegan is like this idea that, well, maybe there are other things I could be working on that are more important. And so like I shouldn't spend my effort on making sure I eat this vegan diet when the effort could be better spent somewhere else. And that's like it certainly seems like a rationalization, but it seems like it could be true in certain cases that like the energy spent being vegan is not worth like the outcome, especially when you could like counterfactually you could spend that energy working on something else that has a better outcome. That being said, I do feel guilty about not being vegan, and I do, like I said, I want to be there one day.
Gotcha. Appreciated.
Yeah. Kenneth, I want to hear your response.
Oh, like you rain down combination. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Whenever I talk to Kenneth about this, it feels like I'm being like verbally hit by a whip. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm taking it out now. Yeah. Well, I think like there's a lot of things that like go into this, and this is why it's. I will say like it's vegan. A lot is asked of vegans, and not just about like their lifestyle, but also like how they respond to other people. Like a lot is asked themselves. Like it takes a lot of emotional maturity to be a good vegan dialoguer. Anyway, though, what I think is like one thing is like in regards to like social pressure, that's absolutely huge. For a lot of people, I think. Yeah, I worrying about like what other people might say or think. I mean, I definitely was going through it before I like came out as vegan, I guess, and yeah, I mean, like even things like it is hard to there is a difficulty in like kind of like being like, do you have like a vegan option or something like at a restaurant? That like yeah, it's surprisingly difficult. It's very interesting that way. I guess yeah, like but for me like yeah, I've always like been challenging myself to kind of be making steps there where it's like because yeah, I think Reid as you touched on like knowing that it was like when you lay it out, it kind of doesn't make sense to kind of be like, oh well, like the social pressure or whatever, so that means like I should like continue to do what like killing and whatever, eating dead animals or whatever, because social pressure. It's like when you lay it out, it's like, I mean, one kind of seems like it takes priority over the other, like if we're being fully honest with ourselves, I guess. Like the.
Can I ask Jeremy? Does that make sense? Would you agree that like this that this is not like a I don't know, is social pressure to not be vegan? Is this like justifiable, like moral defense?
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, because like yeah, this is where the line is like that. Because I don't think that people are bad people for doing that, but it is like yeah, recognizing like that it just doesn't feel like it makes sense. Like, it doesn't feel very, like, reasonable, I guess. Where it's like there's like a the funny thing is like so there's like examples of like Buddhist monks who are like, you know, vegetarian or vegan or something. I think vegetarian probably.
He's got pause somehow. This recording here, I think.
Uh-oh.
Is it?
I think so, right?
No, I think
Oh, never mind. It was just
Off. Or like
it just like goes
the
minute by
thing's
minute.
done.
It
Yeah,
goes
sorry,
minute by minute.
sorry.
No,
Yeah, it's okay. It's fine. Are those the Buddhist monks?
Right, Buddhist monks. And so they're like vegetarian most of the time. But like if someone serves them meat, then it's like, well, it's funny because like they're like, oh well, because like you want to be vegetarian because like everyone is reincarnation, so you could be eating your mother, and then like it's like, then they're like, but if someone serves you like hospitality, so you should like eat the thing, and it's like, yeah, even if it's your mom, and they're like, yeah, I guess, and it's like, so you would eat your mom if someone served it to you, like served her flesh to you, because out of courtesy, you would obviously be like, no, that's weird. Please don't do that.
this seems like a straw man of vegan of Buddhist beliefs. I feel like most Buddhists do not actually say the reason that not to do it is because you might.
Oh no,
actually eat
well,
it.
I mean, yeah, no, I mean, I'm not saying like, yeah, like any necessarily saying like strong things about Buddhism or whatever.
Right. Okay.
But I'm saying I remember seeing like an example where there were like in a documentary where it was like interviewing a couple of monks who happened to be Buddhist, and that was what the defense that they used. And then it's like, so like thinking through that, it's like that's the kind of thing, like looking at from an outside view, regardless of who says that, you know, of like, you know, this made me like something to think about. Like if that's absurd, then what's going on with the rest of things? Like, I don't know. I guess like, yeah, like basically the moral of that weird sort of like story being like that, like, yeah, or like maybe a less weird example to go off of is like lots of people have like dietary restrictions due to like religious beliefs, and we'd obviously think that it's like wrong to like force or pressure someone to eat something that was against that. And then it's like, okay, well, what's different about veganism or something? This is a strongly held belief, and not only is it like a religious, well, it's not, I mean, you know, not only does it have that like conviction or whatever, but it's also like grounded in something that we know to be like just very real.
Which is that suffering.
Which is that like it is actually like resulting in the like death spirals and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, well, like, so once you see it through that lens, and it's like, oh, that makes sense. Like that's where it makes sense. Like, be like, okay, I know I'm asking something from you to accommodate me, but like for me, this is really important, and like you should not have control. I mean, if I can't even tell you to like stop doing something where that thing I can demonstrate that it is actually harming other beings, why should you have the right to tell me what to do with like to tell me what to put in my body, to tell me what to consume? That's like kind of where my mind goes, like where in principle I'm very kind of like trying to work on that, because that's where I kind of see it. It's like, yeah, this really doesn't make sense, and I don't want to enable that kind of I don't know, like just like I'm not sure like this exactly word, but that kind of like behavior where it's like I'm just caving to you kind of because even though like I have good grounds on which to say, like it's not only like, you know, the ethics, it's also my body autonomy.
So can I to summarize to see if I understand what you're saying? It's like, so you have a very strong conviction towards veganism, and on top of that, there are like very good like logical, ethical reasons to
even
be,
separate from
right, even separate from like from the strong convictions. And so like the fact that like someone not willing to accommodate you for being vegan, it seems like, well, they would be willing to accommodate other people on like lesser grounds, maybe like, you know, for example, like religious reasons, right? Like you'd be sort of an asshole if you're like, oh no, I refuse to cook. I refuse to cook halal for you or something. I refuse to cook something kosher for you because and you know, but like veganism, you have like an equally strong conviction, and on top of that, like besides it, there's other like good reasons. So you sort of like So I guess you feel justified in
I feel
asking for someone
justified.
to,
Yeah,
to
I
accommodate.
certainly feel justified, and like at least like for me, like you know, if not like for yourself, like at least for me.
Right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
You know.
Mhm. So yeah, I talking about the moral justifications, especially when it comes to like asking other people to act in a certain way, always seems interesting because I agree with your logic. Like, yeah, it seems like if it's like justified to ask someone to do anything, it seems like morally justified to ask them like, oh, can you accommodate like my dietary preferences? But then there's like, I don't know, sort of one sort of another reason why I don't feel like this super strong urge, or like why I don't feel that bad about not being vegan, is because like I feel like this is true of a lot of different things. Like there's a lot of ways where I feel like I could be living a more ethical lifestyle. Like there's like the drown. What's that?
No, just
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
There's like the drowning child argument, right? Which is like, oh, if you would save a drowning child from a pond, right? Or if you get like your expensive shoes wet to save a drowning child from a pond, you should be willing to sell those shoes to save other drowning children, right? And like this line of logic follows like, oh, you should be willing to sacrifice any number of things in order to save, because the amount that you're sacrificing, the luxuries of your life that you're sacrificing to donate this money or to act in whatever way, right, is overshadowed by the amount of people you would save on the other end, or like the amount of animals you save on the other end if you're donating to animal charities. Uh, and I've never heard a convincing argument against the drowning child argument that like, oh yes, it's actually like there is a good moral reason not to like donate all my money to charities in order to save people, and like not to like live like just within my lifestyle, right? Or live very much within my means so I can donate as much money as possible to save other people. I can't find a super good argument against that. That being said, it sort of just seems like absurd to hold other people to that standard, and it seems like we have as a society collectively decided that like, oh, we don't have to hold people to that standards. Like you don't have to talk to, even if you believe that like that ending child mortality is like very good. You don't We have sort of agreed as a society that like you don't have to like talk to your parents like, mom, dad, why don't you donate? Why aren't you doing more for child mortality? You don't have to like talk to all your friends and be like, why don't you donate all your money to saving children? Um, and so from that same logic, I think like, well, then why do I need to like? I don't feel that bad if I would hold other people to the standard. I don't feel that bad not holding myself to the standard.
Oh, I see.
And so that's like, and it's a rationalization. I don't think it holds like it's a good moral argument, but it does make me feel better. It's like, well, I don't know, like
Yeah.
I don't have this expectations of other people, right? And it's like seems like kind of a hard thing to do. So maybe it's like okay that I'm like not failing. Maybe it's okay that I'm failing and not upholding this thing which I see as like morally good.
Yeah, I think it's certainly true that like there's this plants class I took that was very nice. And like one of the first things the professor tells you is like, yeah, when you're in this world, you're like constantly in a system that's like interconnected with like tons of moral tragedies, and like that's just the way it is. Like maybe you're wearing clothes that were made in like child slavery and like whatever. Like it was a plants class, so we talk about chocolate, and then chocolate's like intimately tied to like exploitation, child slavery, all that stuff. Well, not yeah, stuff like that, right? And it's just like the chain of the system that we've built, like naturally by engaging it in any way, you're like engaging in like some amount of this. So then it's like, like what can you do? What are like some steps you can take that can like sort of like scale down your amount of participation in like the worst parts of it? Sorry, I realize this isn't really engaging with what like you were saying, but like yeah, yeah. Sorry, there's like I had like 5 different thoughts bubbling up like as you were talking, and then
Well, if I can take one of those, like the scaling down of the worst parts of it, that kind of is like the tail, right?
yeah,
Of like the tail of a distribution, of like imagining that there's like a what do they call it, like a fat tail, like sort of like distribution, um, yeah, this will be fun for EA people, and for other people, it may not be fun. Anyway, but like, just imagine, like, like that like there's some things that are very easy to do, which proportionally reduce, like, a lot of suffering, and then like it gets harder and harder, more effortful, more intensive, and like is not as marginally like effective. And so I think, like, it's one of the questions that your question raises, Reid, is like where do you draw the line?
Right.
Because both sides are absurd. Of course, like, if you give up everything, it's absurd.
I have a hard time arguing that the one side is truly absurd, though. That it actually is absurd to give up everything. It seems unusual.
But let's say it's it's so demanding. Like, let's just assume that's
right. Sure.
But then the other side is also absurd. Like, I think we can agree on that.
So, like, I shouldn't do anything.
That, like, not doing anything besides what is, maybe like being involved in your community or your family or whatever. And all of us, I think, we would think, there's something wrong with that. Like, we should be more broad-minded about, we have like certain obligations. Like, many people kind of feel that sort of thing. So if you even have like an inkling of that, then it's kind of like, where do you draw the line? That becomes the question. To be consistent with one's own like principles. And for me, it's kind of like thinking, it is like kind of anything where it's like we see the tail, where it's like, this is something that it wouldn't cost me that much to do, but it would, like, it seems like it would have like, it would have like an appreciable impact in some ways. Like, even something like, like cutting out animal products or something, where like, you can argue about things, but just like the intensity of like the suffering and the scale of it, even for a single individual, like potentially 1,000, I don't know how many animals per year it was, but I think it was in thousands, maybe. I don't want to be misquoting, but that's not, even if it's off, it's not that far.
Right. Yeah.
So even for a single individual, like, just thinking like that is like such a good thing, that it would be nice to have a habit of that, even if that does like incur like some small.
Yeah, on like the scale of animals and stuff, and it's like, I don't know, I'm just thinking of like a baby, like a literal baby, like you know that thing where it's like they have no object permanence, it's like peekaboo. It's the same, that's like the drowning child thing. So it's like, as you said, like being consistent in your morals. It's like, have you guys heard this like Walt Whitman quote where it's like, so what if I contradict myself? I am Lord, I contain multitudes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, is that where that I contain multitudes comes from? Because I've heard that part. Okay.
Yeah, it's Walt Whitman. You ever read something Leaves? I forget. I do think it's like great to like untangle the little moral contradictions or just like general contradictions you have within yourself. It feels good to be more aligned. And like, you should, that's it.
I guess like what I'm thinking is like, like we are all contradictions. We are all like, we all have hypocrisy, whatever. We all have things where you can do better. I think like that's part of the point too. Like, it's always a process and a journey of like thinking like, what's the next thing that I can do better? Whether it's like big or small, whether it's personal or on a grander scale. But like I feel like that part is like the process and the journey is like kind of underrated, where it's like, oh yeah, like, you made it. It's like, well, I mean, you're always you're always going, you're always having to like look for something. I mean, I don't know.
And then to give like some practical advice seems like the wrong thing, because I'm not really speaking to anything. Maybe advice to myself about things, about like talking about fat tail distributions and doing the most important things first. It's like, if what's stopping someone from going vegan is like worrying about how like, oh, I don't want to be a burden on like people when they're hosting me. It's like, well, then don't, like, then go and like, if your friend invites you over and they're offering steak and you don't want to be a burden, just go eat the steak, right? For like the one time a month that you go over to your grandma's house and eat a burger, like, that's like, if that's what's stopping you from taking vegan action, just totally go do that thing and be vegan in the other ways. And like, that's like, I really do believe that being that being 90% vegan is 90% as good as being 100% vegan. And so like, you know, you can cross that bridge when you come to it if your convictions take you to a place where you do feel like it's important to start asking people to accommodate you because you think it's the right thing to do and yada yada yada. And that's great eventually, right? But right now it's like take one thing at a time, you know, reduce the meat that, you know, just be vegan by yourself. Don't even tell anyone that you're doing it. And that's like that's really like it's kind of hard to lose sight of the fact like how much better that is in terms of like, you know, like contributing to suffering. Like if everyone did that, right? If everyone reduced their animal products by like 90%, that's like 90% of the suffering gone, and that's like so incredibly good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier than biting this bullet and saying like, oh, therefore I have to do 100%.
It's not all or
right.
I think so. The dialectic for this is, on one hand, you have like the all or nothing conundrum, which is very real and like it's
very human,
and it's not the most helpful frame of mind. On the other hand, you know, you might have the worry of like, do I compromise myself to death? Where it's like, but like, so I think maybe the antidote to this or the way through is to like once again go back to like the principle of like change of like that. Yes, right now maybe I'm not comfortable with saying anything. So I do have to like kind of, you know, maybe it is like to get myself to start doing this, I just need to like say this is the reasonable right now. But also then be like, and at the same time, I know I can do better. Like I know like there's a future possibly like one day maybe I will say like no thank you. I would prefer to have something else, you know, or like, you know, just like be like, all right, well I guess I just, you know, I'm not really hungry then. I don't really need to eat right now. You know, I'll you know, wait till I get home or something. You know? I'm at this point for me, I'm perfectly comfortable just like saying that, like, you know, yeah, it's fine. Like if you don't have anything, like I just won't eat it. Yeah, you know, like it's not trying to be rude to you. It's just that's just like I don't want to eat any of these things right now.
I think this connects to what you were saying earlier on, like it is a continuous process of improvement and growth and stuff. It's like, yeah, like to the best of your ability, to the best of your judgment, to the best of your judgment of your judgment, like are you making a small step towards your goals like right now? Yeah. I have like a callback. I started doing Kenneth, you remember the notebook thing? So Reid. So I used to have this like tiny notebook I'd keep with myself to write down notes on things. Notebook. Then whenever Kenneth and I would have these conversations, like we had a notebook with a tiny pen, and then whenever the person who wasn't talking had ideas, they'd write it down on the notebook, and then they'd look at it when it was their turn, and they'd know what to say.
Oh, interesting. I see.
I can get you guys pen and papers if you want, but this is just.
I should probably get into that habit. I'm just in like I don't think I was very good at that, where it was like you were writing things down when you thought of them, and I was just forgetting to write things down.
Yeah.
Like there were definitely things where it's write down worthy, and I was just like I forgot that was there.
It's optional, right? Like there's trade-offs you make, and it's like I think there's something to just letting go of ideas and letting the conversation flow, because you're gonna get to good stuff anyway. When you're with the right people. So yeah, I don't mind it as much. But here it was like I don't know. I felt like I wanted to today, so that's fine too. And then specifically, it was like So it seems like we've been touching on like all these different things. The main one for me, and then like a secondary one for Reid / a theme I saw with Reid is the social aspect of it. Like we've been touching on this a lot. So it's like we've been talking about like the moral, like ethical frameworks for this. Like Kenneth, I thought your point on like body autonomy was like very strong. It's like you like flip the table almost, where it's like it is actually like my right to exercise.
Yeah, like the kung fu movies. Yeah,
and it is courteous for you to allow this of me, and it's stuff like that. Like it's expected for you to do this for me.
Right.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting, and I'll be thinking about that more for sure. But the thing I'm trying to get to is like it's like so much just like mental overhead of stuff So like I'll give you an example. So like for my I recently got a job, as you guys know,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Congratulations.
thank you. Yeah.
Congratulations to both of you, by the way.
Yes, because you also get a job.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you start late August or mid August?
August 25th.
August 25th.
I have a whole month of freedom.
Yeah. Before the old ball and chain. Are they gonna chain you in like the sewers and like you have to do the electrical stuff?
Maybe. Yeah.
Electrical stuff in the sewer sounds dangerous.
No. You said it was like a desk almost thing.
Yeah. I think it's like bureaucracy stuff, like reviewing funds. Anyway, continue your thought.
Yeah, the thought was just like so like immediately after getting this, it was a feeling of like relief and just like because it's like for a long time I was stressing like fuck man, like I got no prospects post college, like I don't know what I'm doing. Like it's a huge amount of uncertainty that like, and I think compared to people in my circle that are like researchers who deal with uncertainty daily, like that is their job. It's like, okay, I don't know what this thing is. I'm going to make sense of it and explore it, and here's what I'm doing today. Stuff like that. So I respect researchers a lot because like for the longest time, and like I've only tasted it with like undergrad research. It's like it's a skill set that like I don't know if personality comes into it, but like I struggle with uncertainty a lot. So yeah, it was like hanging over my head. I didn't even know it was there. It's like, man, I'm like stressed and like worried because it's like post grad, like I have no internships lined up versus like most people in CS have internships lined up, that sort of thing. It's like kind of a theme in every single conversation. Yeah, different majors have different ticks. The tick for the CS major is internship. So yeah,
engineering also to a certain
extent. I'm sure, yeah. But yeah, so it was like that, and then once I got the job, it was like all this stuff dropped off, and like I can breathe, and it's like, wow, now I feel like I can take risks and I can explore because I have something lined up. And then yeah, I stopped that for a bit, and then like I thought about that for a while, and I'm like, you know what, like that seems like just like a mental thing of like this weight over my head and stuff. Like if I'm thinking about it from like an omniscient view, I could have been taking those risks all along. Like there's all this stuff I could have been doing this whole time. Like I have parents who support me, and they're like they'd be willing to keep me on their couch for like however long, as long as I demonstrated like I was actually trying. So it's like, why wasn't I doing this before? And it's like, why was I freaking out so much about this thing? Because it seemed like I don't know, like it could have happened anyway. Anyways, yeah, so that's an example of like mental overhead. So like it's the same thing with like this veganism thing. Like you were gesturing at like your thing being sort of a rationalization. Like yeah, you're coming through whether or not it's like real or rationalization or not, like the whole like social like obligations and like courtesy and stuff like that. And also towards the end where it's like, is this more impactful? Is this the most impactful use of my time? Right. That strikes me as something that's like, it seems correct right now, but looking back, it might just be like a mental overhead. Oh, that's fake, sort of thing. Just my opinion. Yeah. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I will say like I know exactly what you're talking about when it comes to that feeling of like the overhead of like being like what's gonna happen. You know, I just feel paralyzed or like depressed because I don't have anything. And then like when you do, and then it's like, oh yeah, like yeah, looking back, I could have just been, you know, a lot more relaxed about it and slash or like been doing more things. Yeah, I don't know. And so like I guess yeah, like psychological wellness stuff seems like it's the good recommendation, but yeah, exactly like how to like get yourself to be the person who is doing that. I don't know. That's hard. It genuinely is difficult. I guess it's just kind of like, you know, my advice is always like to like start small and like just to get the ball rolling or something. So like, but I don't know. It is genuinely difficult. And I guess yeah, so it does extend to something like veganism to like to get yourself to do that is difficult, but I think yeah, like once you do it, yeah, you look back and like you got over the hump and it's like, oh, like, it wasn't that hard, you know. Not as hard, at least, as I thought it was, because I didn't do it. Because I was avoiding it. I guess it's kind of like, you guys know about like there's a disorder called agoraphobia.
Oh yeah.
I'm afraid to go outside.
Yeah, basically, I guess like
I'm afraid of large open spaces.
Yeah, I think that is like what it is defined as now. I guess like agora means like public place, so like agoraphobia, fear of public place. But yes, basically, generally speaking, I think it is like you're stuck in your like house or like your apartment or whatever, and like you just cannot go outside. And it's like I guess like part of like one potential thing is like exposure therapy of like being like, okay, well, you don't feel like maybe you can like walk across your city, but maybe you feel like you can like step outside of your apartment and stand there for like 10 minutes. And it's like, okay, that was good enough for today. And then maybe tomorrow, like you step outside and you walk to the elevator and you look at the elevator, but you don't go into it because you're scared of the elevator. And it's like, that's okay. Like, you know, like we're getting there. And so on and so forth. And like, but then each time, like looking back at it, you're like, oh, well, yeah, it wasn't so hard. Nothing happened, you know? I genuinely think that that's the way, like, it's always felt that way with veganism too. Yeah, like definitely, like everything I pushed myself to do, like tell my family about it, or even like when it turned out badly, honestly, like tell my family about it, or like ask like someone at the like counter like if they had another option, or I don't know, talk to a friend about it or something. Every time, like it was like looking back, it was like, yeah, it wasn't that bad. Like nobody tried to kill me, you know, nobody like threw me out of their house. Like, you know, the person that at the counter didn't like throw like gravy in my face and be like, boo hoo, are you vegan? Like, no, like that's not gonna happen. Like but like, yeah, it's like, why is there that level of like anxiety about it? Yeah, it's very strange. And then, but like once you kind of confront that and you realize that that never happens, then it's like, okay, well, I can do it now. Like it becomes easier. And that's part of like, I guess, also like continuing this long thread of like, part of like why I engage in the habits is because like it's a continual practice. So every time that I do it, you know, that I go back and reinforce it. So it's like reinforcing the habit, making it continue to be strong. Every time if I lapse, not to say that like you can't lapse or whatever, that's definitely not healthy. But just recognizing that like each time you do like kind of lapse, that is weakening it. So you want to be like cognizant of that, I guess. That's like kind of my thought on that, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of wisdom there. I think unless you do have anything, I have threads I can pull on.
Go for it.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna grab them. I've told you, I love this so much. It's like the fact that I can reference these in real time.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You're right there, yeah. On the counter.
Oh, this is useful later. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I really like I'm gonna link this to 2 blog posts I read. So like that have been so impactful to my worldview recently that I printed them out. I'm lowering the bar for what I print out, but these were the first ones I did. So anyways, there's this one by this guy called Henrik Henrik Carlson or something like that. It's called like Unfolding, or like I forget the title. It was like something about like how everything in my life followed the same design process, or something like that. And it's about like active reflection of taking small steps, of noticing exactly what works, and then like building on those. So yeah, your comment on like yeah, you were gesturing at like agoraphobia, like taking a small step, noticing what works, building on that. Same thing with veganism and stuff like that. I found this to be like hugely helpful for me, at least. Yeah. The other thing also was like, there's this old one by Aaron Swartz. You know who Aaron Swartz is, Reid?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
What were you saying?
It's besides, but I'll go to it later.
Yeah, he's the co-founder of like Reddit, I think, and then also like he tried to fight like copyright laws by like downloading a bunch of stuff from JSTOR. And then like he Yeah.
30. They charged him, and then they were like, "You're gonna spend like 35 years in jail," and he was like, "No, like or like he's just okay. Well, time to, unalive."
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Sad.
And then it's an irony because like however many years after, it's like large language model companies just do this anyway. So they just huge amounts of copyrighted data.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was another one I meant to print actually. Accountability sinks. I'll do that later. But yeah. Anyways, this whole paper is called like theory of change or whatever. So it's like it opens up with like I am increasingly convinced that the difference between effective and ineffective people is their skill at developing a theory of change. I found this so true for myself and like for just things in general because it's like, yeah, I don't know, like so much is packed into that. It's like noticing some kind of contradiction, like okay, I feel like I should be vegan, like this seems correct, and then okay, so what are you gonna do about it? It's like okay, I'm gonna like identify the places where it's not correct, take some small action that like unfolds into something else, like notice what happens, and then see like where it goes. Like and then like as Kenneth said, like you're not making any forcing things. It's like you're like if lapses happen, then they happen, and then you just keep building around it. And then it's like, yeah, I don't know. I just really espouse these two views. Like,
No, totally. Yeah, I totally agree. And like, yeah, that is the right way to like put it. Is like there will be lapses, and then you work around, you work through it, and you continue to build. That's the right way to think about it.
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, when you, I was gesturing at this earlier with like the podcast thing, how I don't have any expectations for it. When you let go, like it sounds like weird and strange to like let go of expectations for things, but I think it's a, I don't want to say it's a necessary step, but for me it's been like pretty crucial. Like when I let go of my expectations for anything, I like unlock myself to like actually go after it. So it's like, yeah. So for like this podcast, it's like it's stupid, it's dumb. It's just like me putting up a camera and then seeing like where it goes. I fully expect to get 0 views on this, and like I don't really care. So and then it's like for like veganism and stuff, it's like I'm letting go of the expectation that like I'm going to be vegan. And somehow in the last however like only a few days really because like I went to New York, I've only been eating vegan stuff, and it's like does that seem weird? Not really, because it's like by letting go of the expectation, like I'm putting 0 pressure on myself if I lapse at all to build back. It's like if the lapses happen, then there's this huge like emotional like hammer blow where it's like oh fuck shit ass like I fucked up, like I did this thing, I feel so bad. And like maybe that's helpful for some people. It's like really just not helpful for me. So it's just like I just don't do it. It's like, so it's like, yeah, I just think it's like a funny thing. Yeah.
Can I say one of my favorite, and I'm speaking sort of sarcastically here.
Yeah.
One of my favorite like rationalizations that I hope is true, and I think a lot of times is true, is like the belief that like, the way I want to do things is actually the best way to do things anyway.
Oh,
so it's fine to do things that way.
That's interesting.
And a lot of times this isn't the case, right? A lot of times this is truly a rationalization where it's like, oh, I'm actually like I'm doing it pretty optimally anyway, so I'm just gonna keep doing it.
Yeah.
But I think this sort of something that rhymes with this is how I get around a lot of like these feelings of like following things to their logical conclusion and like. For example, if I bite this bullet, then I must be fully vegan, and I have to tell everyone how important it is to be vegan. Or like, if I bite this bullet, then I really do need. If I bite the bullet of like the drowning child argument, I really do need to live as frugally as possible and donate like 90% of my wealth to effective charities and stuff. But like then, what I feel like saves me, and like I think it's like pretty true, is that. Stressing yourself out to be 100% perfect and 100% consistent with like whatever you think is true, like consequently has or ends up being like a bad way to do things because you end up stressing yourself out about it and you're just not like you because of your human limitations you're not actually able to like effectively do things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So even if I wanted to like to live as frugally as possible and donate all my wealth, like if I tried to do that, I would end up failing because like I am still a human with my own needs, and I'm just like not strong enough, and like that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so like having this in my mind to be more effective and do better, and like acting with that, and like having less expectations on like how good I will be or how good I have to be, I think is like probably the thing to do that like makes me as effective as possible. And a similar way to like with you and veganism, and like me and veganism as well, is like having less expectations on like I need to do this right now, otherwise like I'm being morally inconsistent, while still basically like find the balance of like being hard on myself and like trying to stop myself from having lapses, and like genuinely trying to push myself with effort towards like living like more in line with what I believe is true, while at the same time having low expectations is like I can't prove it, but it seems to me like this is like maybe the most effective way to actually make myself like change my habits and live that lifestyle. Um, and it's a much nicer feeling than having to bite the bullet of like, oh, I'm a terrible person, and until I do everything perfectly, I'm gonna be a terrible person.
Yeah. Yeah, the frame I have for this is like, uh, yeah, as you said, there's just like so much mental justification or like stuff that happens. It's like, stress, as you were saying. And it's like, I don't know, at least for me, it's like I've realized how much of it was in my head. And like I just started asking the question, like, okay, but what are you doing about it? And like this is a really hard question to ask. Because it's like you look at or at least yeah, like I still do this. Like I look at what I'm doing and it's like I did like 2 things today. Like 2 real things today. And I've done like 4 real things this month. And then it's like, yeah. And then, so what am I doing with my time instead? Oh, okay. I'm getting sucked into like mental vortexes of like all these different little things. So it's like, all right, I'm just gonna let that go, and I'm gonna act however imperfectly it is, like as long as it's like a small step towards this thing. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's very freeing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What makes what I think of like when I hear all this is like, okay, how do I organize this? So there is, I don't know. I just feel like there's if you want to do something, then there is like some deep part of you that does want to do that thing. And so it's like kind of like it's more to me like a secret in a way. It's like kind of like thinking about like unblocking yourself more than like adding something where you're like trying to push yourself or something. It's yeah, just like letting that part kind of very quietly like express itself and listen to that, because like I think like the 2 directions that people often go in are like, one is either I push and I'm really hammering at it, or like suppress, like because it feels like bad, so like I'm counteracting that force by like putting a blocker on it. And to me it's like kind of like let go of those things and then just let there be that quiet but like constant thing where it is you, like you have like this will to to be a good person, or to like be kind, or like to be generous, or like to be considerate, all of that. And you just like kind of let that, like almost the way that you would let like water like carve a riverbed.
Oh, you love your water metaphors.
I really do, because water is just very amazing, like in terms of like how it like relates to life. But like that is like it works wonders like over time, like just that constant thing of like it's very smooth and very relaxed, but like it works wonders.
It's literally like the middle way in Buddhism, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's like yeah. It's like don't between totally suppressing yourself and being totally relaxed and totally being stressed out. It's like, oh, finding the middle way between these 2 things.
Yeah, just like letting it grow. Yeah, just letting it. As long as we are like listening to ourselves and not, not forcing it to be suppressed, or that is what I believe. I mean, maybe I'm wrong about that. And that would be quite sad if that was the case. but at least my experience has just been that, like, over time that seems to work.
Yeah, that's been my experience as well. It's very like every single time I've like tried to force myself to do something, it feels great for like a day. It's like, oh my god, I'm really doing it, and it's like it just doesn't stick. It's like, okay, what have I really done here? Like, versus like just like, yeah, I don't know. Like as you said, like if there's a part of you that wants it, that's almost a reason unto itself. Like, okay, like obviously, like you can tie yourself in knots there. Like, okay, like obviously, if you feel a desire to like kill someone, like you should not do that. But like generally, I think for religious people, like your desires are in the right place most of the time.
Right.
Like your deepest desires are in the right place most of the time.
Even in that example, like like there's for you, then there is also a desire, like assuming you're not like complete psychopath. I mean, if you want to like stop yourself from doing that, then there is a desire to stop yourself from doing that.
Yeah, there you go.
And you focus on that, and you kind of like just like try to let that grow.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
It's
there's.
like, oh,
Sorry, no. Go.
I would say it's like it's there's like theories about like, you know, selfhood and stuff and like whatever, and like theories about like multiple parts of the self, and like for me it's like kind of like part of it is like the being in harmony with oneself, or like having oneself in harmony, and like kind of really all um like flowing in that sort of harmonious way towards what you really want, um which I think, yeah, like what a lot of people really want, I think, like at the deepest, if they were to be in harmony with themselves like that, is generally like good things. But I just think people don't like let that happen. That's very sad.
Yeah, for various reasons, they tie themselves in knots. It's very human. I was reading this Twitter post where it's like, yeah, you should. In my okay, actually, that's a really esoteric role. I'm not gonna pull on that, but yeah. Anyways, this whole thing of like deepest desires being generally good, I feel like this ties into like some of the sitting meditations I've done, where it's like guided and stuff. Do you go to the same Zen place as Reid?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. I might join you guys next Monday.
you should. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And also like at the first Saturday of each month at like 9:30 a.m. they have intro sittings too. But yes, I think like you could probably do it.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
People have done the past.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny enough, like meditation is one of the things that I think I tried to force myself to do for a while. Yeah, because you know, like, and the times that I did, it did work for me. That it was helping me. I wasn't really forcing it; just like something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And it like fit my schedule at the time, and it was just like something I did. It's just like, oh man, I gotta log in and get my 15 minutes. Or whatever. Like it's just like, what am I doing? It's like, yeah. Have you guys been? Do you guys have like a meditation practice or anything?
I go every Monday. We both go every Monday. I think, Kenneth, you also go on Wednesdays?
Sometimes if I'm not doing anything that day.
What's everyone's experience with it? Meditation in general. Not just the Monday thing, just like
sometimes when doing it, it's like really awesome and calming and like almost like exciting in a certain way, because of like I notice the way I'm breathing and it's like very interesting. Or like I like look at something and deeply focus on the thing, and it almost feels a little bit like tripping or something. Like, wow, it's so interesting. And like the fact that like I can just like that, just being present in reality can be this interesting is like so cool, and it's like fun in certain way. A lot of times it's just really boring and like just like trying to like, okay, try to get back to this focusing on your breath, just that's in the moment. But what I have noticed is that I think it's certainly the number one thing it's given me is an ability to deal with the small annoyances of life. Like if I'm like stuck in traffic or something, I find myself like much more able to be like, okay, well, I'm just in traffic right now, and that's okay. And there's nowhere else that I can be, and there's also nowhere else that I need to be. Like, it's okay to be in traffic right now. And that train of thought comes to me much easier now versus before. I'd be like, come on, move, what are you doing? So things like that, like that's the main way I feel like I've noticed. Is like the small annoyances or like stresses of life are kind of easier to deal with. And that's after doing it consistently for like 2-3 months, 4 months. Yeah,
it's pretty good.
I'd say for me, yeah, it's kind of similar. Like there have been times when like it's been like been in the zone or whatever. But yeah, vast majority of the time it's just kind of been like sitting and breathing or getting distracted or falling asleep. Or some combination of that. So yeah, it's I yeah, definitely one of those things where you should not expect a lot. Um, like in terms of like, oh, I really feel like I had like a breakthrough. Like no. I mean, maybe, but like, don't I don't think that's not usually the topic like afterwards. Like, how was your session? Oh, I had a breakthrough. Like I don't know. Like I've not heard that so far. Nobody's like I saw the Buddha and like no one said that. Yeah, and then like in terms of like personal, yeah, it's hard to like say like exactly. I mean, I'm sure like it's contributed to like personal development of like and like mental health. I do think like yeah, like sometimes I'll be like after meditating and like yeah, I feel like I'm like calmer, like I'm more relaxed or something. I've had that before. Yeah. Um I don't know. I remember like there's this really Rick the guy who's leading our all day sitting. Um and like during his like Dharma talk, he was like a really cool thing that he said is like yeah, like my friend was like he'd attended like a 2 day like sitting or whatever, and at the end he's like I didn't feel like I gained anything from that. And then he was like, well, made me what that made me think of was the saying that like um every day with knowledge something is gained, and every day with wisdom something's lost.
Ooh.
And I was like, that really was like, whoa, I love that. So I really remember that, and I feel like maybe that like helps to kind of like put one in the mindset of like maybe the reason that it doesn't like feel like that much is because you're really losing things. You're like losing and letting go of the things that aren't serving you, or like having them transform or whatever. And then, but like in the moment you're like, I didn't feel anything. I don't know. you know, I didn't feel like I got something out of this.
Yeah, you're not supposed to get something. You're supposed to.
Yeah, you have to be. It's really weird. Yeah, you can't be like, you can't be a Westerner about it. I guess What's the goal? What's the reason for this?
Can we set any KPIs on this?
Yeah, I do think about it all the time. It hasn't stopped me. It hasn't been a problem so far, but I do think.
What's the like? How do I? What's the fastest way to get to enlightenment?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's my 30-day course.
Yeah. Oh, my 30-day. No. Yeah. My 30-day course, guys. I've seen the enlightenment. You gotta do this. Yeah.
Yeah. Reid, I have a great video to show you. I think I've shown Kenneth this. But like.
Oh no, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, we're gonna have to. I don't know, maybe you've seen it. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. That's My experience with meditation has been like I started in high school basically. I haven't really kept anything. Well, I mean, like I've had streaks, like be it months or weeks. The main thing I've done is just like focus point sitting, and then I tried like some guided ones for a bit. It was really funny. Do you know like the Healthy Minds Institute?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, Kenneth, did you work there? Or am I thinking something else? Yeah. Okay.
I wanted to.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, it was really interesting to learn like after having used their app, because they have a mobile app with like guided stuff, that they're based here, like literally here. And
they are based here. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish them well, because I think there's some like leadership turnover or something happening right now.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think like the director guy's retiring, and like someone else is too. And they need to figure out something. But they had the Dalai Lama over, I think, at one point. Just sick. Yeah, so I use their stuff.
I feel like you would be good there, Kenneth. I feel like you would be.
Oh, I would have
a good job with the Center for Healthy Minds.
Oh, I would have. Maybe.
Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah, I wish they thought so. Yeah, no, I filled out their form like a couple times, and that got me applied. So. I guess they just weren't looking for people or something, not at the moment.
They judged your mind unhealthy.
Yeah, they're like, nope.
They weighed your soul and found it unfitting.
Yeah.
Can ask, have you like have you looked into like Buddhist philosophy much at all?
Really, I mean, I don't know, high school we would confidently say yes, but me now it's like absolutely not.
I've looked into it a little bit, and it's very interesting. And like how like have you encountered this idea or like have thoughts on the idea of like of no self that the self doesn't exist?
Yeah, I've encountered it, but only like on an intellectual level. So like not at all
Right.
encountered it, I would say. Like I get it, sort of. I have a fun graphic. You guys want to see?
Sure.
Sorry for the stream, people. Oh, 25 views, one concurrent viewer. Oh,
Wait.
someone's here. I think
Oh my god, he's haunting us from. Okay, let's read it
Is
out.
he here right now?
Devil face or whatever that is. I'm haunting you from the Mormon kingdom. Whoa, I'm the top contributor. I think I got banned. Where's the Huel? Eagle. Stone face, clickbait, drink it. Red beans. Chug.
How long has
Oh
he
my
been here?
God.
I don't know. I don't know
That's
if he's still
crazy.
here. I should have had this. I should
Well,
have
you
had
said-
the chat up.
You said there's one concurrent viewer, right? Does that
Yeah,
mean someone's
we
viewing
had
right
we
now?
had a peak of 3 concurrent viewers.
Whoa!
Wow.
There's one viewer right now. I can't tell if it's Isaac or not. Isaac,
Mhm.
if you're here, chat. If it's someone else.
The peak
You
of
can
3
also
concurrent
let us
viewers
know.
was so
Yeah.
small.
Yeah. Okay. Where in the stream is this? 135. Okay. Yeah. I should text Isaac. Like we found your message at 135.
Yeah, we didn't see it.
Yeah.
We didn't see it
Reid, can you
before
text him this?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, because I'm gonna pull up the quote.
This is very professional right now, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh man.
This is funny.
Wow, that's crazy. 25.
Yeah. Okay.
What a job you've done.
Yeah. See, do you see the
Oh yeah,
the
letting
loveliness
go.
of-
Yeah, if you
because
let
like
go.
if I had the expectation that this had like 100 views, like I'd be really disappointed. But I have the freedom to be like really happy about this.
Mm.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. Oh, what am I doing?
Oh, are you telling him now?
Oh yeah, here, check this out. So,
lunch,
this one here, like,
Yeah, our default identity is to see your body as self and your surroundings as no self.
yeah. I'm gonna wait for Reid here because I get the whole graphic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
usually located in
Can you screen share this at all? Well, with the audio.
I don't want to set it up.
Okay, don't worry.
And
Okay.
the viewer just left.
No!
We scared them away.
Yeah, we scared him away.
Oh,
It's okay.
Anyway, no expectations.
Most people tuned in for 2
2
minutes
minutes.
and 9
Damn.
seconds. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Feel free to like scroll this. I don't wanna. Or maybe I'll read it out loud. Okay. Yeah. I just thought the graphic was really nice because it was really illustrative. Yeah. Our body as self and our surroundings as no self. The sense of self is usually located in our head or throughout the body.
Mhm.
This is what I got out of meditation initially too. Was like, oh, I can feel things like in my body and not just like in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the ability to extend our sense of self, though. We do so regularly. I thought this was great.
Oh
Don't
yeah.
you think this is great?
Wow.
Like, just this is like, yeah, I get it. And like this too. Or it's like, sometimes we extend our identity to other people. We see them as part of us and we defend them like our own body. We can extend our identity to large groups of people too. It's like, this is some person like at a protest, I'm assuming. Like all these signs. Or nature. It's like this. Altered states of consciousness can feel like we're one with everything. All becomes self. This experience is called unity. Sometimes seeing everything as no self can occur as well. The absence of self can feel like we are dying and induce fear. With deeper realization, we see that actually self and no self are not different. They are both made of the same stuff, awareness. From this can arise an experience that goes beyond unity or no self. Identity itself disappears. All just becomes one seamless occurrence. No self, no other. We call this suchness or emptiness. When permanent, it's called awakening, realization, or enlightenment.
Oh.
Yeah. So I just thought the usage of color
Yeah.
and all these
that's
is like
very good.
boom. It's like wow.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I can send this graphic to you guys if you want. Like just this was so good. Is like yeah.
Wow.
Anyways, yeah. I'll leave this up so you can see if anyone. I think
No,
you're
no,
having
okay,
a
let's
good
go.
We have to no expectations. Yeah, I remember I read like a book on Buddhist philosophy in my freshman year, but I haven't really engaged. I want to like read that sort of stuff.
Mhm.
By the way, also Bernal Escher Bach has Zen motifs all the way through.
That's right.
Very Zen.
I read a book called Why Buddhism is True which is like
That is such a Western.
it's a very Western approach to it.
Why Buddhism is true.
Yeah.
For
It's
these
like-
simple reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was also that's the thing. It was perfectly tailored for me because I want to like
of course,
in everything
yeah.
I see it's like why is this the thing to believe
What's the
instead of
logical thing?
instead of something else. That's like kind of how I think of things.
Yeah.
And basically what it was like a skeptical defense of like Buddhism.
Yeah.
It's like sort of skeptical about like the sort of the religion and like metaphysical part of it, and so like, well, what does like the science say about these things?
Yeah.
And I actually didn't finish it. I only read halfway through, but I feel like the halfway through, I think, and that I was told, sort of repeats itself a lot. But the part of what it said about the self not existing, not in the sense that like there's nothing like what we think of as a self like isn't like a real thing, but just like the way it's very like if you think about it like the way it is actually very, very different than how you would like initially assume it is. Like for example, is like this idea of like psychologically, like our brains are very modular, and so what we experience as like ourself having a thought is actually like different parts of our brain like battling it out and sending signals, and eventually like one part of the brain signals like overwhelms another part, and that's like the thought that we have or like the emotion that we have is like one part of your brain, and just that itself, it's like, well, there really is no like one thing that's me in control of stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know, so just this like that one thing of like kind of like understanding like, oh yeah, like the self as I think of it like probably isn't really real. I think that gave me a lot of the motivation to like I'm gonna start like that seems true and like important and helpful to me. And so now I feel much more motivated to continue on doing meditation, because like the people that have realized that this is true and get useful out of it, this is what they say the next is like the thing to do to like make use of that idea.
Yeah.
And so that's sort of where I get like my motivation, all starting from like this is like, oh yeah, I guess the self.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Something.
No, go ahead.
Okay. An essay that I'm putting on the to print list is this one called On Unseeing by Goran. So it's like when you're like the fundamental thing you get as a computer science major is this idea of abstraction, because like a computer is not a real thing. It's like at the core of it, like you're interacting with a user interface. Behind the interface is code. Behind the code is like lower level code that's like with like compilers and linkers and all that. And then underneath that is like like diagrams of what the operating system does. And the operating system is not actually a real thing. It's all just hardware. And like, hardware is not a real thing. It's just a bunch of electricity. No, it's like running around and doing stuff. And like, if you want to get into like beyond computer science, then you get into like chemistry and like physics and all that stuff.
Can I just make a random guess if this is also in Gödel Escherbach?
Is it?
Because basically what I heard about it's like this is also
I
related
think
to that.
he does like explore different layers of things and like abstractions, I think.
Okay. Anyway, sorry. Total aside. Continue.
No. That's a connection I just made just now is like that's what people mean by like the no self thing is like in the same way that like this computer isn't real, like your sense of identity isn't real or something. I don't know, something like that. Where it's like it seems like you're like adjusting the magnification on your microscope and like you're like psychologically it's like you're zooming down to like the atoms almost.
Yeah.
Something I like from Gödel Escherbach, an idea that's like stuck with me, is this idea of like the fantasy role, or something like that, where it's basically this idea of it's almost like a what if. It's like, what if I suppose this axiom or this set of rules, and then like what can I do with that? And that's kind of how I like to think about things these days. It's like everything that I use like conceptually is like I just treat it as a what if. Like what if I assume like that that the law of the excluded middle. Like what if I assume that or something? Or like maybe it's not. Or like what if I excluded everything? What if I said everything had to be either true or false?
Okay.
Maybe this helps me like reason through something or something like that. But I could also just let it go and like switch to a different thing if I wanted to. I feel like I find that very fun. And then even just to like kind of go back and forth between different ones and see how the interpretation of something changes. As I like kind of
view it from different lenses and be like, yeah, what if I thought about it this way, or what if I thought about that way? So that's like kind of fun.
It's like you know, like the strongest way to build your own argument is look at the strongest argument on the other side, pursuing two sides. It's like like steelman it. And it's like, okay, yeah, I don't know. That's just how I thought. It also reminds me of like this perspective stuff. It's like I don't know if it's like the tyranny of the master or if it's like the curse of the master or something like that. But it's like the person who's been in like the carpentry business for like 25 years and is like teaching an apprentice. Like the apprentice like bumbles into like so many different things because it's like the master just has like there's so much context that it's like a given why you would make this decision. So it's like impossible to get in the frame of mind of a beginner because it's like there's just so much in there. That's what I'm experiencing at my company right now. It's like everyone has been with them. Well, not everyone, but like some people have been like they're literally like the founders and stuff. So it's like they understand the why behind every decision and stuff. Yeah, and then I just not the case for me.
But it's good to have the renewal of things.
Yes. Yeah.
Starting it over.
Yeah, they did mention it was interesting, like looking at their product from someone who has like no idea what anything is. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
because like this is a funny thing. So like, the funny thing is like with life, like it's fun to like learn that like that they're immortal creatures, which implies that death is not something that evolution has not been able to overcome in a sense. I mean, everyone. Accident happened or something, eventually like people die, but it's just like this idea of like, wait, so why do we die? Like what's going on here? Like if evolution figured out how to make creatures at least like in terms of biologically immortal, what the fuck is going on with the rest of us? Like it's been millions of years since life has figured this out. And like so it's like it's fun, like I don't know, I'm not an expert, but I've just heard that like there are reasons, like there are certain environments in which like it makes sense to have immortality, and certain environments which it makes sense to not have that and to have reproduction instead. One of the things I think of is like reproduction is useful because it like it does allow you to have that kind of starting over of like of a renewal of like the new to take the place of the old, and to have like new ideas and new like things that evolve from like the old things, which like makes sense. And then the other thing I was gonna say, going back to like the computerized abstraction, I was thinking like, because like one thing that's really fun is that like language is also an abstraction. All language is yeah, like it's so weird like to realize that you cannot refer to anything specific with any word.
This is very good electron coded. Sorry.
Yeah, because I learned this in my I was learned/guided to this like in my psychology of like language class. And it's like, yeah, it's really interesting. Like every word is speaking about a form, right? Like it's speaking the chair or the wall, but I cannot talk about that chair. There's no way I can talk about that chair over there. I can only point to it like physically, and then I'm talking about that. But if I say like that chair, like it's an abstraction, like it's working with abstract concepts. And so like because like I was thinking like because like computers and like computer language and like the idea of like classes and like such, and it's like it's hiding there in plain sight. It's like it literally is like an abstraction. It's a class of things, right? That's literally what it is. And so like, but like in language itself, like it's the same thing, which is very interesting because it's like you just don't think of it that way because you've been brought up in that system where it's like, oh yeah, like yeah, that wall or that TV or something, that computer, but it's right there.
For a future topic to discuss, I want to hear you guys' thoughts on like how do you read things and internalize them and like make use of them, and like how do you like, I don't know, because when I hear stuff about like Gödel Escher Bach, it's like I don't understand like how, and then that is not to say you're like, not that you're not getting used, but like I don't understand how I would like hear these things and get use out of them. And I also like hear like things about like blog posts. Like there's so many blog posts. It's like how do you actually like find something useful and like get something out of it and like read something about it? I don't know what to talk about right now. It's a whole other topic, but I think we
Okay.
should talk about
No,
that.
I think it's good to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? You know.
Well, I'm partially running out of conversation steam personally. Is the
I
one
see.
thing.
Okay, got it. Yeah. We could conclude here if it seems like a good place to do it, or we could end with like this one topic here
Oh, you have a topic on.
on like reading and stuff.
Oh, I see. Well, maybe we should. It sounds like you want to kind of conclude here. You.
I mean, I'm not to talk about this topic. I don't know, how are you guys feeling?
I'm feeling fine.
Yeah.
I'm also good.
All right, yeah. Let's talk about this topic. I'm curious. Yeah, how do you guys like read something and like know that first a few parts of this, right? How do you figure out what to read? How do you figure out that that's a valuable thing to read? How do you figure out what the valuable parts of that are, and then how do you use that to make your life better?
Sure. I'll start with a meta point that like, I'm very strongly in favor of like reading about or like learning about the habits of other people is only useful insofar as like you take what works for yourself, because it's like this is a system meant for this person and this person's mind and this person's lifestyle. So it's like don't rip it wholesale.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. I can start. I kind of can start to.
Do you have something? I mean, you can go ahead unless you want me to start first.
Sure, I can start with like what I actually do, and then like I'll pitch it to Kenneth, and then later I'll get into like what I want to do,
All right.
or like what ideally I would be doing if I was like trying.
If I was.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. So it's like, most of the stuff I come across is like serendipity. So like, yeah, I don't know. Like I bought a book because like I found a Twitter post of a guy who wrote a blog that was really good, and then the one blog was like, it like mentions this one book offhanded thing, and it's like, oh, it seems like I would like that. So then I bought the book, and now I'm reading the book. In terms of like, yeah, no, like that's why I haven't done a blog post right now. Like, it's not like focused at all. It's just like, oh, this seems interesting. I'm gonna pick it up. Yeah. In terms of like making use of it, that's the stuff that like is in the realm of like, okay, in the ideal world, I would not be doing this, but really, what happens is like, yeah, I'm not really putting much effort into it. It's just like I'm making use of it the same way I use other memories, where it's like if it's interesting and relevant, then I'll remember it. Yeah, if it's like something I want to internalize, then like I print it out and like go over it every now and then. Not really. Like I don't have the system for it. Yeah, if it's like something I know that seems like it'll be useful later, it goes in here. Any viewers? One concurrent viewer.
Oh,
Hello,
wow.
hello, one concurrent viewer. You just got called out. But yeah, it goes in here.
Watch pot never boils, is what they say.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's fun. This is on
That kid looks like me when I was young.
Oh my god,
This is-
no.
this is on like intent, like Kenneth, I mentioned this like before the podcast started, like intentionality and stuff like that. Yeah.
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 Intense.
I think this is like literally what I was referring to, like the one thing I was thinking of.
Why don't you read it out loud, Jeremy?
Sure, yeah. Interesting how explicitness kills the vibe of many social containers. Dating and friending events, too much pressure to relate. Play parties, people show up with too much acquisitiveness. Networking, soulless interactions. This is from one at Tyler Alterman. And then there's a response from M. Gruselglatz. It's like, my son when I tell him to smile, and it's a forced smile, versus when I yell out poop. And then it's a kid with a very natural wide smile. And it's like, yeah, it's like intentionality, you know, sometimes kills the thing it's trying to get at.
Interesting. Okay.
It does.
So like, yeah, see, like I just put it in here, and then, oh yeah, that's right. Like, it's nice because like I'll just trust that the quotes either in here or like because of so much of my reading is on the internet. Like I use the internet as sort of like a long-term storage, like a hard drive, because it's like I can just type in the thing I'm looking for, and then it'll show up in the search bar, and I'm like, yeah, that's the blog I was thinking of. Or now with language models.
Wise Owl says hi. Who is this?
Oh, this is Malia.
Oh,
yeah.
Hi,
Hey, Malia. Yeah, it's with language models, it's like I can type in blog post that talks about, and then I'll like I'll extrapolate like everything I remember about it, and then it'll search the web for like 5 minutes, and it'll find it for me. It's pretty sick. Yeah.
So can I ask? So how do you separate between writing or ideas that are impressive to you versus writing and ideas that are actually good? Because I think a lot of this stuff is like, I think a lot of times like someone can say something and I'll be like, whoa, that's so insightful, that's so true, I've never thought about it that way. But I don't, how do I know that's actually like a useful thought? I feel like I don't know if a thought is useful until I can test it in some way, in my own way. And a lot of times the thoughts I encounter like are not directly operationalizable, right? To like test it out, right? It's one thing if it's like a product, something about productivity, and then I can try it out and see if it works for me or not, right?
Yeah.
But like a lot of like things like that you read about in philosophy, it's like, I mean, it seems true, but like, how do I separate like this is true and good and insightful versus like this is just like fancy writing that like seems good, but it's actually not like actually that true.
Yeah, I'm gonna channel my Kenneth here and say this is very Western.
Maybe.
Very Western.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if the idea is like interesting and fun, then that in and of itself is like good enough. It's like,
Sure.
yeah, and like in philosophy, like philosophy 101 is like we're not here to find answers. We're here to like make our brain jump through hoops so we're better at thinking about things. And it's like, yeah. If you want to put a Western spin on
the
it.
destination.
What's up?
It's about the journey, not the destination.
So true, so true.
Yeah, well, so like to add on to that, or like maybe something similar, is like the very drive of curiosity. It's like thinking about if we let's jump into our fantasy and assume that evolution is true, that the evolutionary axiom of like anything that exists has a purpose. Okay, actually, anything that exists has some sort of benefits to it, and reasonably not too many like costs. So like with something like curiosity, it's like, well, why are we curious? Like why do all of us have a natural curiosity that seems like disproportionately strong, like to what would be its explicit value. I remember reading something that was like sometimes like even prioritizing like being curious about something over like food and like in some, like mammals or something.
Huh.
And it's like, yeah, like that seems stupid. But clearly like this animal species or whatever, maybe it's like a rats or mice or something, it's been around for like millions of years. So like, you know, it must not be that bad, you know? Like there's gotta be something there. And like I guess like the idea of like is like that. I think even if it's not apparent like immediately what the use of that idea is, there is something like basically another way of saying what you said, Jeremy, of like that you could think of it from a certain perspective where it's like ultimately in expectation this will be useful, which is why you do it. So there's a utilitarian way to think about it. I don't know if that necessarily protects you from all the stuff that utilitarianism does to your mind. But like that's kind of the way I think about it, is like kind of a deep sort of like I don't know, you could say like deep utilitarianism maybe or something like that, where it's like, oh, like this actually turns out it does have like a utility purpose, and that's like a way that it kind of factors in and like maybe appeals to like people who are of that sympathy. So that's kind of what I think. It's like, yeah, being curious about something is like a sign that like thinking like, oh, like this could be useful. I don't know exactly when or how, but it could be. And like to like go off of that, it's like penicillin, for example, discovered completely by accident. Probably one of the most like useful discoveries to humans like ever. Like just some guy was like, oh, this fungus, like, I wonder what happened, you know? And then like if he just been like, oh, this is useless, I should like spend my time on something that's actually useful that I know I can get results out, we wouldn't have penicillin. It's like,
so it's like if you keep searching at ideas and you encounter enough ideas, eventually you'll find the context that idea is like useful to you.
A little bit like that.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of ties back to the intentionality bit, where it's like if you're trying to find something useful, like that's one frame you could do it. It's also just like, you know, like accept that you can't predict in advance what will be useful.
Right.
And it's like
with complete, yeah.
Let go of expectations of finding
like,
something useful, and just like follow your curiosity, and your curiosity will lead you to good things.
Yeah, it's like for like this podcast and stuff, like it's probably not going to be useful, but who am I to say? And then it's like I'm looking back at some of the career stuff choices I made, like I would have been in so much of a better position if because like one reason I stopped myself from making projects was like, oh, it's not useful right now, or this is not a career I'm going to commit to. Right. It's like I could have just done it. It would have been fine. And then like same thing with like, you know, Kenneth brought up like penicillin, right? Like, do you think when he learned about this thing, it was like, oh, I'm going to use this in a future conversation? It's like, no, it's because it's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, a lot of things are like that.
Yeah. Following your curiosity does seem like pretty good general advice, like a thing you should usually. Well, I don't know. I can't think of examples where it's bad to follow your curiosity, but in general, it seems like
if there's a clear and present danger, maybe.
Yeah, right.
I'm not gonna like jump off of a cliff or something. Yeah. I don't need to find out if I'm gonna die. Like, you know.
Yeah.
That's your apocalypse role.
Yeah, exactly. That's my apocalypse role. We were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't jump off a cliff. You know, you don't have to go that far, but you know, other things.
Can I ask then? So, are you good at reading things through a critical lens? Because something that I find when I read a lot of things, I tend to read things and think like, oh my God, this is like so good and important. And I worry that like, well, if everything I read seems like good and like super valuable and important and like true, like maybe I'm just like not good at sussing out what's like actually good and what's bad, right? Like maybe I need to read things more critically. I guess are you guys good at like, do you come across things you're like, oh, I think that's actually like kind of bullshit and like not true, like maybe actually harmful, or yeah.
Yeah, I think this will depend on the domain. I don't know, at least for me, it's like if you're reading something and it seems good and it seems true, then let it be good and let it be true for now. Like write down your thoughts on it maybe, and then like a month later you come back with more context. It's like, oh, I actually was more curious about this than I thought, than my like initial position. And it's like, okay, actually this was like super wrong actually. Like, I don't know, for example, like there's a period in my life where like I was really interested in like CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, and like it legitimately helped at the time. And like I don't really endorse it so much now. And it's like, okay. But like it helped me to like find this useful at the time. I'll just say I do want to get better at reading things with my brain engaged or much more critically. I don't know, because it's like my reading habits are very much like I just read it if it's like fun and interesting blog posts, versus like, okay, I'm gonna sit down, carve out time, like really deeply, like I'm gonna go over sentences multiple times. This is very much like a philosophy thing. Like sit with the ideas, let them marinate. I kind of want to. I have a throwaway desire to grow into that, and I have no intention of doing it immediately. But yes, that's where I'm at. If that sort of answers. I'm sure Kenneth has like developed thoughts on this.
Well, my thought on it is like, first of all, like that, like the fact that you have this concern is, in some ways, maybe evidence that you don't need to be as worried, because it feels like it stemmed from something real where you recognized that you had held, like you believed an idea, but been excited in it, and later been like, wait, this doesn't really make sense. Like it feels like you have that intuition because there are things in the past that happened. So that would imply that like you have like detected things where like the idea was like, wait, I don't know, like, you know, or this didn't do what I expected or whatever, you know. I guess the other thing, like for me, I feel like, I don't know if this doesn't necessarily correspond to being good at it, but I definitely when I read things, I'm definitely like, oh yeah, like I agree with this part, and I don't agree with that part. Like this seems like it doesn't hold up, or this seems like it was a really stupid thing. I'm very willing to like kind of just like be like, even in a work that like overall I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. Like for example, like with like Anti-Fragile or something, there were parts where I was like, I don't know if like I necessarily agree with this, or I don't think you need to include that. Like the whole stuff on like nutrition, I was like, why are you talking about this? So I don't know, like I feel like I have some of that, and then like maybe part of it is like is like when you practice that, like you develop that sense. But I feel like you probably do. So maybe it's just more in your head, like that you're just not confident. So maybe there's like a way of if you keep it in mind, and then you're like, oh, see, I saw that this thing, and I like agreed with this part, but I didn't agree with that part, and that might be helpful or something.
Yeah, I think that like.
Also, I want to flag, like, I've also crossed the border of, like, I'm good, and in the conversation never, so, like, don't feel like you have to force it.
All right, yeah.
You were saying.
I feel like maybe a reason why I think, for me in particular, I'm worried about reading things that are ultimately useless. This is the thing I've been realizing recently. It's like I think a lot about like the limited amount of time I have in my life and the limited amount of things I can experience.
You seem very focused on like, is this the most impactful thing? Like, you know, the usefulness of the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, and like I have this like mindset like, well, there's only like realistically I don't, you know, I read a reasonable amount. I'd like to read more, and there's only so many things I'm actually going to read. And so like I read something and I'm like, oh man, is this worth my time reading? And sometimes I've even thought like, oh, I should go. I don't know. I kind of feel like going and reading something, but I'm like, oh, what am I gonna read? I guess I can go read just like a book. It's like but like then I'm reading a book, and like that's like, what's that book gonna do for me in the end when I could be reading? Or I don't know. Like, is like reading the book the most useful use of my time, or should I be doing something else right now? And I think there's like a totally unproductive like train of thought, and probably the better way to look at this is like, look, if you are going and like following your curiosity and like doing something like reading, like eventually that's gonna like following your curiosity is going to have benefits of eventually leading you towards a thing that you want to do. So just like I feel like I really don't need to worry that much about like, is this thing that I'm reading actually good? Because I'm still building the muscle of like reading things and absorbing information and like digesting ideas, and that will like, no matter what I'm doing, that's always going to be useful.
Yeah.
And we keep coming back to this topic of like intentionality and like focusing on something versus just like doing something and like letting the good effects sort of come. And this is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's certainly a difference between like like, you know, like if you're reading something and just really not getting anything out of it, then yeah, drop it, you know. And versus like, yeah, I'm reading this because it's like, you know, like maybe it's a tough read, like it's like, then it's like on consciousness or something like that. And it's like, okay, this is like really hard, but it's also like interesting and like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's healthy that you've identified that as something that's like kind of holding you back from reading, I guess.
Yeah, it's very interesting because like I have a similar problem to you, but in fiction. When it comes to fiction, I think like, yeah, like I'm like, there's so many books, and a lot of them don't seem like they're worth reading. And maybe some of them are, but I don't trust them. Yeah, and so I don't know. I mean, I think part of it is like finding things that really do, like for me, like a lot of like good science fiction books. I don't want to just say hard sci-fi, but you know, like there's certainly like some good like hard sci-fi and stuff. But like those books definitely were like, oh, like I was just like excited to like kind of like start reading them or something. And like, so it kind of just like very naturally like started, and it wasn't like I have to like read a book, I have to pick one, or something like that. So yeah, I don't know, maybe sometimes it's like just finding like starting with things that like you would be at least somewhat excited to like read, or not like terribly like, oh, I have to read this now because I told myself I would, or whatever. And then like just like, you know, like try it, and then like as Jeremy said, like if it's really not working, then just be like, yeah, that was bad, I guess, whatever. That's like my best advice, I guess. But I guess looking at it from my vantage point, where I haven't solved this problem either, like, so I'm like in like the fiction world, I'm like, I don't know, like we'll figure it out together, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, good conversation, y'all.
Yeah.
This is a lot of fun.
Is there one concurrent viewer still watching?
Let's see. One concurrent viewer. Identify yourself. They left.
No.
32
0.
total views though.
Okay, average view. So then we wasted an hour of people's time.
Crazy.
For
Wait,
reference,
how-
it's 32 views for an average view duration of 2 minutes and 11 seconds. So that multiplies out to 60
Wait.
minutes.
Is it 32 independent viewers, or are there people like does one person leaving coming back? Is that
I think it's
as a
like
view?
31 of the views. That'd
Right.
be hilarious.
Well, I'm wondering, are there like 32 strangers that have like seen us talking?
The only
like-
thing we can say with confidence is that there were at least 3 strangers because there's
Right.
a peak of 3. So
Interesting.
yeah,
Someone
plausibly
does
there's
not
like
reveal
30.
themselves.
Yeah, plausibly there's like 30 Isaac views on this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
He just left and came back 3 times. I don't. Well, like.
I think Twitter's
Well, it's
much,
also like the peaks and troughs of this.
Yeah.
You can tell us something.
yeah,
There are
probably
not
like someone popped in, listened for a bit,
One,
left, popped
two-
in, continues to listen to it. Like maybe this is
Hold
when I
their
posted to Instagram. Maybe
Oh.
then it came down.
They just like they looked at it for like how long was that peak, that 3-person peak for?
It was really quick. You
Yeah.
can't even tell.
That was probably
Like 1 minute.
2
Yeah.
minutes and 11 seconds.
Yeah, and someone popped in, listened for a bit, left, popped in, listened for a bit, left, popped in.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah, it's a
No,
lot of fun.
Yeah, 33.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks people for listening.
Any final thoughts from each of the 3 fools here? Kenneth, or actually, yeah, whoever wants to post their final thought first. Your takeaway from this conversation, anything you want to leave the viewers with, the current 0 concurrent viewers with?
I think the amount of time I spend analyzing things, and like that we spend analyzing things, and like the specificity we spend analyzing things, is not very useful to do on a daily basis. But I think it's like the point of this is like the exercise of doing that, and that's why I think this is cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's not that important, but like I don't want to leave people with the impression that this like how I think all the time, like super. Is this useful or not?
Yeah.
I don't know. It seemed semi-important to say.
Makes sense. I think certainly like the time you spend reflecting, at least for me right now, it makes sense for it to be in the minority and the majority being like actually doing stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like while we're in the thinking mode, let's think.
Mhm.
But when we're not listening.
Mm-hmm. Is that your reflection, or do you have another one?
Maybe I'll come up with one. You want to go first?
Okay, yeah, let me think of something. I mean, a big theme was like, I guess, kind of like the flow of things and like how exactly. Yeah, I want to read like more of like Buddhist and like Taoist like philosophy, because like I think that can be enlightening and when it comes to like exactly what like flowing or like being in a harmony like means, because it's not like in some sense not doing nothing, but it's
Mhm.
also not doing things that way that we traditionally do.
That'd be. Yeah, you're leveling up very much your Eastern frame, like the Western frame.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
One could say.
I could say. Yeah.
It's just an illusion that we're divided. Yeah.
We're all no self and all that.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter in the end. It's all the same thing.
So true. Yeah, I don't know. My takeaway was it's really awesome and cool that I have 2 people I get to put on my couch and like talk to a camera for 2 hours. I think this is great,
Aw.
and I really appreciate it.
Oh,
Thanks, man.
Likewise.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, and to leave the 0 concurrent viewers out.
Ooh.
Actually, wait.
Where's
this is
the- oh, that's a camera.
I forgot.
Wait. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. All right. Good night.
Night.
What was it? Do you ever see the Truman Show?
Oh.
Yeah.
In case they didn't
long time
see
ago, I
it.
think.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do they say?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't know, but yeah,
Oh.
that seems right. Like in case.
In case I don't see you. Good night. Good
Yeah.
night. I don't know.
Yeah. Good morning. Good evening. Or
Whatever.
Yeah.
They'll
Yeah.
figure it out.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye.